You are now dialed in with the Dial Brothers.
What's up, Dialed In fam? It's episode 20 of season 2. How you doing, Steven?
I'm good. It's a new week. It's a new day. Ready to go.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Not really in our family. I was about to say in our family, in our world, in our country.
What
A lot
happened
has
in our
happened in the
family?
world, but not in our family.
I'm about to say, what happened in our family?
Nothing really. Nothing special. Now that I think about it, we had a very unspectacular week as a family this past week. I'm saying nothing special happened.
I mean, the past week technically was Mother's Day, right? The past week.
Well, since our last episode, Mother's Day was before that.
That's true. Well, but everything's good. Everything good. It's been raining a lot. Has it been raining there?
I wouldn't say a lot, but has been raining more than normal. Yeah. But you know,
spring showers.
Those are spring showers. But hopefully summer comes when you have summer showers. It's just, before having responsibilities, okay, I used to love stuff like the rain.
Mm-hmm.
But now I really don't like the rain because it affects events that you're trying to have. It affects church attendance. Now that I have responsibility of roofs, it's like, Jesus, please don't let it rain hard. Just let it drizzle. So it's just
what?
It's just, now I understand why adults say, enjoy being a child.
Mm-hmm. Being an adult is not fun. Like,
no.
Yeah, you go on trips and you can drink alcohol. Like, being an adult is not fun. Like, I have come to the understanding it is not fun.
Bills come due every month.
It's just like, and you try to not be ungrateful, but because someone always has it worse than you. But it's just like the second you get paid, the money's gone. Life is.
But like you said, perspective. Still be grateful. The money's gone, but you got a place to live.
Yeah,
you got transportation.
Mm-hmm.
You've got food. Now, for those who, this is where I think it gets sad. Those who have an income and the money's gone and they don't have a place to live.
Yeah.
They don't have transportation. Then it's like, that's a whole nother kind of thing. You're going to work every day and don't have anything.
It's all about perspective, right? It's all about perspective. Because, I mean, life is life, and life's. Today, as we are taping this, but this airs on Wednesday. Don Staley's new book, Uncommon Favor, is released this week. I pre-ordered it, so I should get it today on Amazon Prime. What?
I thought you said we was gonna do that together.
Well, shoot, why you ain't order it?
I mean, I didn't. It was because you said 2 books. I don't remember the other one you said.
Yeah. Bill Belichick book, The Art of Winning. Well, so honestly, and you're gonna be mad at this too. I saw, and I don't know if I'll be eligible for this, but she posted Monday saying if you pre-order the book, you get a book card that she signed.
Oh, dang.
But I don't know if, I mean, I pre-ordered from Amazon, but it's also arriving Tuesday. So,
well, yeah, I'm doing it now, and it says it's gonna be here between 5 and 10. So
today,
yeah,
mine's supposed to come by tonight. So by Tuesday night, as we're taping this. But her book is about her journey, growing up in Philly, but also it talks about leadership a lot, according to the videos that she's been posting. Talk about how her mom, instilled discipline and hard work in her and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. And it doesn't look like it's a long book. So if you guys want to read with us, Uncommon Favor, it's like $25 on Amazon. Not that expensive. By the GOAT, in my opinion, Don Staley. Multiple national championships, multiple national coach of the year, player of the year.
All of what?
Women's basketball.
I just didn't know if you was saying basketball completely, like as far as coaches, basketball. Or you just about college women.
And she's getting inducted into the national the International Basketball Hall of Fame. She just got that information over the weekend. So, but Don Staley is a good person, in my opinion.
I'm a little behind on books. I have like 3 books I need to be reading.
Well, that's not good. Look, and this is going way off topic. If Claflin is smart, now I would assume her niece is still at Claflin. If they're smart, whatever year her niece graduates, Don Staley better be the graduation speaker. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now,
And
Don may want to be a spectator. She might not want to speak, but that'd be cool.
yeah, I think she would do it, but I don't know that woman like that, so I don't know.
I
But
don't know her either.
I know. I'm just saying. I think she would do it though for her niece's sake, unless the niece tell her she don't want her to for some reason.
I mean,
But
I assume the niece is still at Claflin.
I have no clue. Did she play sports?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I don't think so.
Because Don Staley, that's probably like her child. She don't have any children, right?
Yeah, she does not. She has her dog
And all them bracelets.
and necklaces. Yeah. Well,
She's a unique person.
love
But hey, a
Don
lot of
Staley.
winners are unique.
Yeah, I love Don Staley. That book, me and Michael will get the book on the same day. So let's see if he actually reads it. It doesn't look long. It does not look long.
256 pages.
That's not long.
If it's good, it's not long. If it's not good, I'm not reading that.
You go cheat and listen to the audiobook.
Or not really, because that take up a lot of time. Books that don't capture my attention a lot, like, well, I shouldn't show this because this is for church, but you start skimming. You just start saying,
Michael
okay,
has learned how to cheat read books. That's what he's saying. If it ain't for me, I just stop. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've read books where I'm just like someone was bragging about a book. It was like a politics book, and someone was bragging about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah. If you like politics in Texas, you gotta read this book." I tried so hard to read this book. It was so bad. Like it wasn't bad. It wasn't for me. I thought it was. I didn't know it was like a fictional book about Texas politics. I thought it was real. I can only read nonfiction.
Well, I prefer to read nonfiction. I can't say I only could read it.
I can't read made up crap. Like I read Kobe Bryant's book, like his kid's book, which was fictional, but I can't. I need to. I got a picture, and this makes me sound not smart, but I got to picture what's happening when you can picture what's happening in a fictional book, but I got to read about something that actually happened.
Even if it's fictional, but it's based on a true story.
I got to read about something that actually happened.
Speaking of books, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, so I'm not going to try to get deep into it. But I was at a breakfast on Saturday that really is nonpartisan, but it's partisan. And
you supposed to say that?
Well, yeah, excuse me. It's not partisan, I guess. But you know how sometimes things be nonpartisan, but it's leaning heavily one way. There's no opposing opinion speaking.
Yes.
So there was a congressman there, and I love all of them, him and everything. I'm just getting to a point. And he said something interesting that probably you know, and I'm not saying that what he said is true. You could speak to it. I don't know. But he brought up Jake Tapper and CNN, and I know I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Jake Tapper in this book about Biden.
Yeah.
But he said, and I heard somebody else say on a different day that Jake Tapper, I don't think he is a MAGA supporter. I don't think that's true.
No.
So why are they saying
I
that?
mean, technically, journalists ain't supposed to be nothing. Jake Tapper is not a Trump supporter, and I shouldn't be saying that. I don't know the man. He's not, because he's doing a book about Biden. Now, I got to send you a link. If you guys, Micah doesn't watch the Daily Show. Jon Stewart, the Daily Show, he does Mondays now. He used to do every day. Now he only is the host on Mondays. He did this 8-minute monologue about Jake Tapper's book. You know, CNN's been, saying, oh, the book's coming out in 10 weeks, 5 weeks, now 1 week. It comes out today, too, Tuesday, the day we're taping this. And then he's like, since the Biden cancer announcement, which we'll talk about later, they've had to still promote the book, but now they're trying to sound like sad, like yada, yada. Jon Stewart's whole point was, if you had all this new information, why are you waiting? He said your job as a journalist is to give the news. And he was critical of Jake Tapper and others for saying y'all had all this information, but you didn't report it because you want people to buy the book.
Right.
Was his criticism. It was a really good video, and I get what he's saying, but you also want to give some suspense for people to buy the book. But Jake Tapper's not a Trump supporter.
So I just brought that up because we were talking about books, and I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I should buy the book. I think from a left-wing perspective, they're saying that the book is negative about Joe Biden.
Well, the thing is,
if you tell them the truth,
and we'll get into it. Clearly, some people were not being forthcoming, and that's not just a Joe Biden thing. People weren't forthcoming with JFK and other presidents. It's a thing, but in the name of you saying we open and transparent, clearly you were not open and transparent. So I don't think it's because Jake Tapper has other political books. I don't think it's this is a hit piece on Joe Biden. I really don't see it that way. I see it as, did they get some reputable information that has not been released yet?
But isn't the timing impeccable?
They can't control when the man announced he got cancer.
But what I'm saying is, we'll talk about that later.
You might as well go into it now.
Okay.
So for those, if you were on Mars this past weekend, Joe Biden announced that he has stage 4 prostate cancer. It's an aggressive form of the cancer, and it has metastasized to his bone. Now, we have an unfortunate perspective when it comes to cancer. I will say this: you don't find out that you have prostate cancer that's metastasized to the bone 3 days ago. I would just say that that's not being biased. That's not being political. From a medical standpoint, and especially someone who gets the types of screenings that you would think a president gets, and a president of a certain age gets, you didn't just find out about this.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. It's not impossible, but it's impossible that they just not found this out.
They would have found something out before this.
It's likely that half of his presidency he had cancer.
Correct.
Like that's very possible. I said, right or wrong, kudos to them for this not leaking out. How in the world? Because there's no way that he didn't have some type of treatment. There's no way, because he would have been dead by now. If, like you said, it's already metastasized to his bone. Yeah. There's no way.
Now, being transparent from our experience, and we'll pull back the curtain a little, which ain't no secret. But so with our dad, he thought he had hip pain from golf, and he kept complaining about his hip, and find out that the cancer spread in his hip. So I mean, I understand we didn't know what it was, and they were doing tests and didn't know it was cancer. But it's not even, I hate to use the word assume because it makes it less than what I'm about to say, but I just would highly assume that a president's medical treatment checkups are more thorough than
the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
And medical professionals have said that prostate cancer is one of the easiest cancers to diagnose.
Yeah.
So there's just, and sure, similar to with JFK, similar to with whichever one couldn't walk, it makes you look weaker.
Yeah.
On the world stage if you're sick. And it would have fed into all the stuff that people were saying about him on the radio home yesterday. I heard them saying, now it all makes sense.
Well, and I was having a conversation with a friend this week about, they were like, well, that has nothing to do with them saying his mental decline. And I was like, no, actually, from experience, because your mind you have brain fog, and it could be due to cancer.
Let me be careful with what I'm about to say, because I was about to use the word that wasn't going to be appropriate. I was about to say his punishment, but not his punishment, because he didn't do anything to get cancer. But it's likely that President Joe Biden isn't going to live many, many more years. He's already 82 and so life is going to be life for him. But if he was younger, and I don't know what you could really do to him, there would be some serious issues, probably, especially you got Donald Trump as president, as far as trying to do an investigation. Because what decisions were you making, President Biden? What were you doing, President Biden, when you, for real, now we know potentially your mind was not clear, either due to the disease or what type of medication were you on? These times when we saw you stumbling, were you under the influence? Not like alcohol, but like we remember Dad after certain treatments, he couldn't sign certain documents after he did certain things because it affects you. So I think in the trying to protect the country, this is a question. I'm not making a statement, and it's not for you to answer. Did he at times put the country in danger because he didn't want to tell anybody? And all those things are going to come out. But at this point, and JD Vance on the airplane was
and so I was about to say, but everything has a time, right? And so, yes, I understand what some Republicans are saying, like, hold on. Because again, you don't just find this out 3 days ago. But there's a time to criticize, and that time is not 48 hours after the announcement. JD Vance was on the plane, I was assume leaving Rome. And he talked about he tried to, I'm shocked Trump has not said anything wild about it yet.
It's coming.
But JD Vance was a little critical, and he even prefaced by saying, I know, is do we talk about it now or later type thing. I mean, you got to wait to criticize. I mean, granted, somebody might say we were just criticized. But there's a time. You give it a little time to breathe.
And one more thing. This to me makes, because none of us know, and we may never know. I think eventually we will know, even if it's after he passes away, like when exactly they first found out. I think at some point in our lifetime we'll get that information. Let's say it was in 2022 that his doctors said something's not looking right. Because any of the medical professionals who've spoken out say, as you alluded to get to this stage he's in, this takes time. This don't just happen overnight. Let's say it was in 2022. The whole last minute him dropping out of the race pisses me off even more because you knew you had this. Like, I don't even believe that he found out in the summer of 2024. If that becomes the thing, like, last summer, this is when he found out. No. Give a little more context, telling our business, but like I said, it's not secret. Our dad, the type of cancer he had, it had 3 stages. The third stage was the final stage. When our dad was diagnosed, he was diagnosed in the final stage. The doctor told us it's likely he had this cancer for years and we didn't know. And the signs that were presenting themselves are so similar to other issues. So what I'm saying is there's just no way. I don't, at this point, there's no point in smearing his name or anything, but I feel hoodwinked and bamboozled.
Oh, wow.
Just because, like, even if it wasn't Kamala Harris, somebody else could have had a better opportunity to try and run for president. If clearly, President Biden, you're not going to be, and you flat out lied. Saying
on the record, we do not know when he found out. We do not.
But in my opinion, he flat out lied going on The View saying, yes, I can go another 4 years. Knowing, allegedly, in my opinion.
You talking about last week going on The View?
No.
Oh.
When he was running for president.
I'm saying he was just on The View like last week. Sorry, the
know.
sun's coming through my window.
He lied last week. Now, see, that pisses me off because
I honestly did not watch the interview. I don't know what he said.
and really, he needs to stop doing interviews. To be honest with you, because and I think a lot of it.
Well, I'm pretty sure he won't do any more interviews.
I think a lot of it. Now, I think he should do one more. I think he should do one more.
Yeah, but
sit
I'm saying,
down.
especially not the week that this book come out, he ain't about to do no interviews.
I think he should do one more sit down with a nice neutral person. He really should go do one with Jen Psaki. That's who I think he should sit down with, like do like one of them in a room type interviews. To me, even the last week thing on The View,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 82. Now there are 82-year-olds who are very, very sharp, and there's some who are not. They kept asking him questions, and he always likes at the end of a sentence when he start losing his mind, he'll say, "Whatever," you know. And then there was one question he was just rambling, and Dr. Jill Biden jumped in and she answered the question, and I'm watching, and I'm like, "No, let him answer it," you know. And it's just like, okay, he needs to go sit down. He needs to sit down. So we love President Biden.
Yeah, I mean, our prayers are with the former president and his family. You know, cancer has hit his family before. And I'll put a bow on this by saying, journalists' jobs are to find the truth and tell the truth. I don't think the book is a hit piece. I think if they had this information, they put it in a book. They should just shared it before the book. But you also, I highly doubt that they're going to put details in a book that they have not quadruple sourced. I don't think this is going to be, well, one person told me they thought about putting him in a wheelchair. They went through multiple channels of confirming that. So we'll see. We'll have to see what the book says. Maybe we need to buy the book.
I'm about to buy it right now. And see, and I think this is the thing. The title of the book is Original Sin.
Yeah. The
Like
title is
it's hard to not think that's a hit piece. that's
the title of the book
extremely
is
negative.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
What is read the summary thing on Amazon? What's it say?
Says from two of America's most respected journalists, an unflinching and explosive reckoning with one of the most fateful decisions in American political history. Joe Biden's run for re-election, despite evidence of his serious decline, amid desperate efforts to hide the extent of that deterioration. This might be why Joe Biden came out.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
He wanted to tell his own story.
Because they started leaking a little information from the book, and I think this wheelchair information came out last week. And I think they were like, "Look, we need to go ahead and say," because I think they also, I mean, this was the court of public opinion. People will have more sympathy for him now that that book is about to come out, and they already said he has cancer. Now, let's say the book came out, and then 2 months later, they said he had cancer. It's just a different feeling. So everything is politics. Again, I don't believe that they found out 3 days ago or whenever they said he found the diagnosis was Friday, I think.
Even that's a lie. Why would you say
don't know
that?
that? You don't know that.
Okay, let's chase that rabbit for 2 seconds. That they just found out. Do you know how crazy that is? That the most powerful man in the world.
It says you could do it by a blood test.
That the most powerful man in the world did not know he had prostate cancer.
Yeah,
that's ludicrous. That don't make sense. That's just like what's his name, Donald Trump. In his last interview I watched of him, and they what's his name for Fox? Names I would be Breyer or whatever.
Brett Baer.
Yeah. Was asking him about, does he have, and plenty of people have asked him this, but does he still have confidence in Secret Service?
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. I got shot. Like, you know, and I know he got to say, yes, he does, and all this kind of stuff, but no. Because he was asking Brett Baer, saying, why is there still no information about the shooter? Why do we still not know anything?
Right.
And Donald Trump saying, he don't know. He just get what they tell him. That's crazy. So if I can't be protected physically or medically, what is going on in America? Like that's I don't know.
Okay.
Some fishy stuff going on.
Well, we talked 25 minutes about this. I mean, it is a big topic. It is what people are talking about. Cancer is serious. I hate to victim blame, but
Now Jake taxing a little bit on this book.
how much is it?
Hardcover is $31.
I mean, Don said the book was 25
for hardcover.
I know. So
And this book probably
more.
Oh Lord, this one of them books.
Oh, it's long.
464 pages.
Woo. See,
And see, he
just
could have
buy the
included
audio book, Mike.
he could have included all the juice in bullet points. He was gonna be in a wheelchair. He had cancer. He did
Look,
this.
we'll buy the book next week.
And to end on this for real. Well, this don't make sense. It says for the. Oh wait, that don't make sense. I'm
You can get
sorry.
paperback?
Hardcover is 27. Paperback is 31. Ain't no way that's right.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't understand that.
Huh.
But President Obama said something in his statement, and we can move on, that I think is worth noting and worth ending on. That Joe Biden, according to President Obama, has been the most consequential president in making strides toward getting rid of cancer.
They did that cancer moonshot thing.
Yeah, and about his son Bo passed away from
then that I'm sorry, y'all, that we were talking about this entire show, but even that makes you say, like, so, when he was vice president, Obama, made Biden over the cancer moonshot. That's what they call it. Mm-hmm. So you would think with the greater focus on cancer, I don't know.
If he was able to fight it, because again, my opinion, he's known about this for years. If he was able to fight it without all the mess ups, like the falling and the speech impediment, and to me, in his presidency, he didn't lean enough into the fact that he stutters.
Him thing, he already had a speech issue.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't lean into that enough.
Right. Yes,
I stutter.
Yes, he did.
What I'm saying is that was never the excuse given when why is he stumbling? Mm-hmm. People always said it was cognitive. Never said that it was, well, maybe that's cognitive too, but never said that it was, he been talking like this since he was a kid. Mm-hmm. Whenever we ever know him not to screw up. It's just that when he was Obama's vice president, he had a lot of charisma about him and stuff.
Yeah.
But if he was able to fight this cancer well in the public eye, I think he could have told the world that he has cancer and been a champion for it if he was like 20 years younger. But, no. He had a lot of stuff stacked against him. I also want to know, and she don't have no loyalty, no reason to be so loyal at this point, especially if she want to run for president again. Kamala Harris, did you know? Like, did you know he had this? Or if I was her, and watch, I bet you she does if she run for president because it's going to come up in debates. She need to say, he knew, but he didn't tell me till right before he dropped out. But moving on, y'all. One has to go. One has to go for today?
Let's go on a lighter note because we've spent 25 minutes talking about a very heavy but important topic. All right, one has to go today, guys. This is back to food because we always talk about doggone food. All right, so one has to go. Soul food, Mexican, Italian, or Chinese. I am torn. Now, too, that I'm not letting go.
I know for sure what I'm not letting go.
Okay, name... All right, we're gonna say on 3 what we are letting go. I'm torn. Okay,
I'm torn too, but
okay, we're gonna do it on 3. 1,
it's not gonna be the same.
What? I know it's not gonna be the same. Okay, I'm trying to still decide. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Chinese.
Mexican. And
I was going to say Mexican,
I was gonna say Chinese,
but
but
now I'll be in Texas, and man, shoot, I made tacos this weekend. Like, it's hard because I like Chinese, but I don't know. I eat Chinese. I honestly don't eat either of them super often anymore. It was between Mexican and Chinese.
yeah, I think the tough thing for me, I was gonna get Chinese food yesterday, and I didn't. I ended up getting Chipotle, but the tough thing, or that was the day before yesterday. I don't know when it was. The tough thing for me, we grew up, or at least I did, but I think you too. We grew up eating Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All black people grew up eating Chinese food.
we didn't eat no Mexican food growing up outside of a taco at home.
Yeah,
We
but
and
now
all these welcome to
I eat
Mo's,
it
and
more
we
now.
ain't no Mexican food. But now I do kind of eat more Mexican food, and certainly you do. For sure, soul food for me is at the top of the list.
Yeah,
You know, that's not going anywhere. Then Italian is like the white soul food. You know, the Italian food is heavy. But yeah, I would have to probably let go of the Mexican food.
it was tough. It was a tough decision for me. We made the decision. We'll have to live with it. Like, I don't think I've eaten Chinese food in maybe 2 months.
Yeah, I can't recall last time I ate it, unless hibachi counts as like Asian food. I've had that, but
all right. Well, moving on. Talking about food, y'all. Okay. A Popeyes employee is in legal trouble because he got in an argument with another employee over burnt biscuits and shot him. So this happened in North Carolina, in Charlotte. A witness who was a customer at the time of the shooting told police that the altercation stemmed from an argument between Wood, who's the man who's arrested, and another employee due to overcooked biscuits. The witness reported that both went outside after one challenged the other, leading to a physical fight. And during the brawl, Wood allegedly pulled a gun and fired 2 rounds. Is it that serious?
So he didn't shoot anybody?
I think he shot the guy.
Oh. First of all, because of biscuits, no, it's not.
Accused of shooting coworker.
Because of biscuits, no, it's not that serious.
He
But
hit him in
now,
the groin and in the chest.
oh wow. Now, me personally, I have always preferred light skinned biscuits.
Yes.
Okay. I hate going places. Now, if I'm in like a place where I can see the food, I'll tell them, let me get a light skinned biscuit. I don't like dark skin, brown skin. I am very racist when it comes to biscuits. I'm a colorist when it comes to biscuits. I like light skinned biscuits. I hate when places serve burnt biscuits or hard biscuits.
Oh yeah, who wants a hard biscuit? No.
Why would you? They serve it anyway. Now, let's say I doubt this all started just that day over some biscuits.
I would hope not.
They probably had issue before, and you never know. I mean, I've never worked fast food. You kind of did. Is Starbucks considered fast food?
No. Oh yeah,
somewhat. You know, but we both work some form of like retail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you have certain expectations, and you know when your coworker mess something up, it can mess you up or throw things off.
Y'all went outside to fight because he overcooked the biscuits.
But I'm saying you don't know what that might have done to their day, the morale in the restaurant.
So a homeboy always burned the biscuits, so now we got to go fight.
You know, things escalate. You having a bad day.
To the point that you pull out your gun.
Hey, you don't know what was said.
You don't. You know? But we know somebody in the hospital and somebody in jail.
Sometimes a lot of fights escalate, and when you look at the genesis of the argument, you're like,
look at you. When you look at the genesis of the argument, you learned that in school.
I almost called you a inappropriate word. It wouldn't have been that bad of a word. It was going to start with an N.
That's a bad word.
I'm saying it's not like I was going to start with a B or something. I don't know. I really don't remember what I was about to say.
I'm saying, all right. Yes, we don't know what was said. But on the surface, it just looks so bad for us as a people. Y'all got in an argument over burnt biscuits, went outside to allegedly fight, and then someone pulled out a gun and popped you twice. That's not cool.
But this is what you journalists do. We keep talking about that it's about burnt biscuit. We don't know what it ended up
The
becoming about.
altercation started from the burnt biscuits. That is documented.
Yeah.
So what do you mean we don't know?
But I'm saying, but it could have. Me and you could get into an argument initially about burnt biscuits, and it turned into an argument about our mamas.
Correct.
You know, like so. Then they would say it wasn't about no biscuit. He said something about my mama. Like the biscuit just what started it.
Well, that's terrible that the biscuit is what started it, and it resulted in a shooting.
Yeah,
a biscuit. Come on, people.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't want no burnt biscuit.
No, I really hate when restaurants put out food like that. It doesn't make sense.
All right,
and I get it. If you got a whole 3 trays of biscuits to just throw them away, that's lost money. But I'd rather lose that money, scold the person that burnt them, and give a better product.
You got scolded, all right,
and give a better product to the customers that are coming, because depending on the day I'm having. You give me a burnt biscuit, I might not ever come to this location again. That's just like, real quick, go off on a tangent real quick. Yesterday was Monday, and I'm trying to develop a routine for certain days in my week to kind of better prepare myself for Wednesdays and Sundays. Every time I go, context, y'all, Steven went to, I sounded like Paula Dean. Steven went to school in South Carolina, and then several other people went there, our cousins and stuff. And so over the past couple of years, I've gone to South Carolina quite a bit. Every time I go and I spend the night, I found myself going to a Starbucks there. I just love the Starbucks there. And I get so much work done. I'm so productive. So I've been telling myself, you know what? I'm going to start going to Starbucks on Mondays. First of all, there's not a good one local. The 2 closest ones are both in stores. One's in a Kroger and the other one's in a Target. Then there's one on North Decatur, and it was so small. It was a horrible experience. I really don't even remember why I brought that up.
Sorry, you live in the hood.
But
I'm not like part of that either.
So I'm probably gonna have to go to the one in Conyers, the one where you used to work, right?
Yeah.
But it's just because of the size of it, it's bigger.
It's busy too.
But I don't mind busy if it's bigger. Like the one yesterday, it was very busy, but it was so small. It was just, then I said, I'm gonna go sit outside, and where I was gonna sit, a group of people sat there, and then this homeless man walked up asking for money. I said, I gotta go. They took forever to give me my banana nut loaf. I was just like, man.
All right. To round out the show, it is now official. The rumors are true. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom, who served in the Biden administration briefly, is officially running for Georgia governor. I think the AJC article said 2 other Democrats have already announced. I don't know who they are, but I would assume she will be the front runner, at least for now. Your thoughts?
If she's the nominee, I'll support her. But I don't have a whole lot of faith.
Who's running on the Republican side?
I don't know. I've heard a couple of names. None of them stand out. But as long as they middle-aged white men, they'll beat her. It doesn't really matter.
Wow. But that's reality.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. They can put up Bubba, and Bubba probably is gonna win. It's
well, this speaks to, I mean, Stacey Abrams, that there were inroads made. I mean, Joe Biden didn't win Georgia randomly. There was chipping away, but now it seems like that Republicans have chipped back, which threatens John Ossoff, who's running for
I
Senate.
don't think he's going to get reelected.
But states have split the ballot multiple times. You got Mitch McConnell winning in a state where the governor is a Democrat. Now that's a little different because Andy Bashir, dad is a household name, so he's a household name. His name makes him different. I will say that in the state of Kentucky. But you have states who have elected a senator from one party and a governor or something from a different party, so it's definitely possible.
Georgia, yeah. I think now, if Donald Trump continues on the path that he's on, but now I'm gonna be devil's advocate for just a second. I'm gonna sound like a Republican for just a second. Things are somewhat turning around for President Trump on a lot of these fights that he started.
Oh, see, but this is the thing. Sorry to cut you off. This is the thing. He started this animosity, tension, and then now he's backing off, or other countries are backing off. Things look normal. It's like it didn't even have to get to that point, and so it's like self-made. But finish your statement.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is not that I agree with what he's done, but is what he said was going to happen starting to happen? Yes. Are China and the United States having conversation? Yes. Now, he still is not making any headway on the Russia-Ukraine issue. He's starting to distance himself from Israel when clearly Benjamin Netanyahu is doing some horrible things, and don't come for us, the police of social media and stuff. This is not an anti-Jew or Israel statement, but has Israel done some questionable things? Yes. Has Donald Trump done some questionable things as far as some of the people he met with over the past week? Yes. Because Qatar, whatever you want to call them, in other places, they are cool with some of our enemies, with like Hamas and stuff, or Houthis or whatever. So it's just, and then we got prisoners in Louisiana running away. What has the world come to? Why can't we all just?
I forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Why can't we all just drink lemonade and sit on the porch?
We'll talk about the prisoners next week. We'll see how many of them are caught between now and then. They've caught the fourth one. That's crazy. That's definitely an inside job. That was definitely an inside job.
And y'all, before we go, y'all put in the comments congratulations for us. It's 20th episode of season 2. 20 episodes. We were supposed to create some type of prize for y'all. And we did not. So maybe episode 25.
We'll see.
Episode 25. And maybe episode 25, and I'm just throwing this out there since last time Steven threw it out there. We're gonna take a week off. So the week that's supposed to be episode 26, we are not gonna be on.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Guys, we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Remember this hat?
All right, cowboy.
I need a cowboy hat. I got some events I have to go to that are cowboy themed. This is not a cowboy hat. This is an Indiana Jones hat. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
You do like a whatever Indiana Jones is. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.